Hello, good evening, and welcome to another edition of Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television. Iron Port is proudly brought to you in association with Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, the Ghana Revenue Authority, Serene Insurance, Goyle Company Limited, and the Ghana Link Network Services. They are operators of the Integrated Customs Management Systems, ICUMS. Iron Port is also, the abridged version is also aired on Ghana Television on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. The show is also streamed live on our social media handles at Iron Port Ghana on Facebook and YouTube. Along the line, we shall get interactive with you, and the number to send your WhatsApp messages to is 0559-019-177. 0559-019-177. We'll be glad to pick your messages and share it with the rest of the world. Now, let me also acknowledge our media partner, the Business and Financial Times. If you want to have a grasp of all that transpired on this show tonight, make a date on Thursday and grab a copy of the Thursday edition of the Business and Financial Times, and you'll be able to see all that happened here on this show tonight. My name is Kennedy Mona. Let's go for a break. We'll be back right shortly.
Every now and again, Goyle makes good things happen. This time, Goyle has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Goyle Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goyle has that sorted. Goyle, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Oh, how are you?
Hi Yvonne, a few words please. Everyone is talking about the fire at your production house last week. How are you holding up? Has production stalled?
No, not at all. My crew and everyone on my set is perfectly fine because I insure with Serene Insurance. As a matter of fact, I've had all my equipment replaced, including the vehicles that were affected. My workers have been sorted out. Even my production downtime has been covered. So it's all good. I have a meeting to attend to, so I have to get going. Sorry about that.
Which insurance company did you mention?
Serene Insurance, the new face of insurance, a member of First Sky Group.
All right, so you're welcome back. During the week, the Iron Port team pitched camp in the oil city of TAKORADI, that's the Western Regional Capital, and we took time off to abreast ourselves with projects that are ongoing currently in the port of TAKORADI. We talk about the liquid bulk terminal, we talk about the dry bulk terminal, we also talk about the Atlantic multipurpose terminal. We bring you up to speed with all these in the local news segment. Enjoy.
The Chief Executive Officer of Atlantic Terminal Services, Dr. Felix Nanasaki, has assured of a timely delivery of the first phase of the Atlantic Multi-Purpose Terminal project, which is currently 71% complete.
We are at the tail end of construction at the moment, and we believe that come November 2021, this facility will be ready for operations.
The construction of the first phase of the project, which cost $210 million, began in August 2019 and has seen dredging of a 600-meter quay wall with negative 16-meter depth completed, with construction of the capping beam and terminal's yard space of 10 hectares ongoing. Contractor for the project is Belgian company Jean de Nieuw, whereas Dutch company Royal Haskonen DVH serves as the consulting engineering firm. Speaking with Eye on Port, the CEO of Atlantic Terminal Services said the terminal's negative 16-meter depth will position the Atlantic Terminal and the port of TAKORADI at a competitive advantage in the port and maritime industry because of its ability to receive the largest container vessels in the world.
So the minus 16 for me is the critical game changer in the industry in West Africa. Currently, we believe that when this port is completed, it will compete with any other port in the rest of the world in terms of size and the depth of the berth.
He disclosed that world-class equipment, which includes ship-to-shore cranes and mobile harbor cranes, have been procured and that their transfer onto the terminal space will follow gradual procedure. While revealing the company's deliberate plan for local participation, Dr. Nanasaki also assured the trading public of expert professional management of vessel and cargo handling services at the terminal. He urged importers and exporters in Ghana and across the sub-region to reconsider routing their cargoes through what he called one of the best port facilities across the region.
They should have a second look at TAKORADI because all the bottlenecks we have in TAKORADI have been removed, and come November, TAKORADI will be the most efficient port in West Africa, if not the rest of Africa.
In a related development, the new ultra-modern liquid bulk terminal at the port of TAKORADI, commissioned by the Vice President in September 2020, is expected to begin operations by May 16, 2021. The state-of-the-art liquid bulk terminal, which cost about $56.7 million, was built and would be operated and managed by Marshall Oil and Gas Services, a subsidiary of the Ibistek Group of companies. It consists of a negative 14-meter chat datum, 5 loading arms for the various petroleum products, which are petrol, diesel, LPG, heavy fuel, and bitumen. It has a berthing capacity to handle vessels of up to 60,000 tons of petroleum cargo. In an interaction with Eye on Port, Dr. Felix Nanasaki, the CEO of Atlantic Terminal Services, another subsidiary of Ibistek, disclosed that staff have been recruited and are being trained ahead of the commencement of operations. Dr. Saki said the liquid bulk terminal is fully automated and unlike any other in the sub-region.
This jetty is computerized fully. So from the loading arms to the opening of the valves to the connectivity to the tank farms, everything is automated.
Expansion works on the dry bulk terminal at the port of TAKORADI is steadily progressing. When completed, the dry bulk terminal would be equipped with modernized equipment for handling increased volumes of bauxite, manganese, clinker, gypsum, limestone, and other varieties of bulk cargoes significant to everyday domestic and industrial use. Phase 1 of the dry bulk terminal has its jetty of 800 quay wall with draft of negative 16-meter chat datum completed and considered to be the deepest bulk jetty in West Africa. Currently, the entire jetty is being paved, as well as the installation of modern conveyor systems and other utility facilities that will transform the receipt and delivery of bulk cargo at an unprecedented rate in the port.
If you can see behind me, this metal is for piling that goes deep in the ground for foundation for as support for the conveyor systems that are coming. So we're going to have ship loaders. We're not going to use a traditional system. You can see behind me right now, there's traditional loading of bauxite happening. That is going to cease. When materials such as this come, they're going to load at the stockpile areas onto the conveyor belt, and then we're going to pour directly via ship loaders into the hulls of the vessels. So that is what we're doing here.
The second phase of the dry bulk terminal cost $70 million, and Amandi Investments Limited is the contractor for the project.
So indeed, a lot is happening in the port of TAKORADI. And remember, like the story said, in November, the multipurpose terminal, Atlantic multipurpose terminal, will be commissioned and will be in use. And that will mean that we will have a lot of container traffic now passing through the port of TAKORADI. We understand it is a 20,000 capacity facility, and that is massive. It looks like the game changer, for the TAKORADI port. Now we will go for the Goil TV market. And remember, the Goil TV market is all about showcasing the services and products of one of our lead sponsors, that's Goil Company Limited. And then this week, Goil TV market features the Samankase service station. In fact, the company, as part of the series, undertook a customer outreach program to sensitize drivers and on the quality and efficacy of its fuels at the Samankase Lorry Park, that is in the eastern region. Now, the program, which was attended by several driver groups, was addressed by the CEO and Managing Director of Goil Company Limited, Mr. Kwame Osei Prempe, and as well as the company's quality team. Let's take a look at that.
Goil, Goil, in the service of the nation. North, south, east, and west, wherever we put you first. Goil, Goil, Goil is good energy.
Goil is good energy. Yeah, as a Samankase filling station. Apart from that, no. Yawo kede ewo hanom yawo odan yawo stations mienu obia ope fuel ato wa Samankase area mu ade omra go Samankase no meto fuel
fuel no me ko ni me de adwuma aya me free pa fuel ko say no ma me be say be wo me ko to a say de adwuma na fuel asa de asa ba ade me de adwuma pon me me ji pa
ni agwa ye ton eyewe Dentia ne kala no eye ahababuno ne se ewiase nyina no petro no ekosora na ho den no sane etie no omoma ne kala etoko ba bia na hu ne eye ahababuno na ekire se eye ro 95 se ye petro ekire se eye ro 95 sane wiase nyina kala ne regular eye 91 no se Ghana eye red oko ba bi so eye different color. That's why I tell you, it can say useful now who they know was
XP3 additive. When they say it is the only multifunctional additive on the market. You can't be a multifunctional. It just say it me and your baby. Additives be on market as well. I'm a caso at the space you. But it to me, and reduce emissions. If you make us say it means reduce emissions, but it means disperse issue and free fuel. It means say it means cleaning injectors, but it means disperse issue. You know, SP3 there, it means
yeah, Ghana na the Ghana 4 years. I say, someone can say, well, well, so you have 4 cars I can see, please go, I can see. Any idea, police 4 cars I can see, and go. One from with me, as will be if some did say, yeah, and took a Tobia. I guess Petra, and I didn't go on for you, and one else
and there was a very big and so Goil filling station and a purchase open and a purchase say for different places. You can't say you are not mechanical bossy, but when you have to go a from pay, you will see it. It don't carry any work. Yeah, Davini. Makaka, and I'm into for a girl. Now I'm to baby, but we must all go here. Who's a girl? A woman, pa. Then I'm to baby, Miss Solana Pounds for Chemicana. We say, sir, Timmy, who said, be a mean Jinuna, and yet. But we must all go here, Miss Parkia. So we see in an ebano, and Bassa. Yeah, come from our mom, we super true, and the desert. Save your motor, Binam woman, a year, no winning, but we are put up in Yabacadia. Motrasam to many bedroom girl, a year as a Samankase filling station.
North, south, east, and west, we always stand for the best. Goil, Goil, Goil is good energy.
All right, so welcome back. Tonight we're talking insurance, marine insurance to be specific. And we want to find out how prepared the local insurance industry is, to take advantage or to leverage on the huge imports and exports in the country, the impact of marine insurance on the maritime trade in Ghana. And we have some guests from Serene Insurance. To my left is Mr. Kingsley Akwaku Boachi. He's the head of underwriting at Serene Insurance. And to my right is Madam Eugenia Ajiri Tete. I got the name right, yes? Fantastic. Thank you very much. So, she is head of marketing at Serene Insurance. Good evening, lady and gentlemen.
Good evening.
And welcome to Iron Port. Is this your first time on the show?
Yes.
All right. So let me begin to Eugenia. What is marine insurance to begin with?
Yeah, marine insurance is insurance that takes care of it's a special product designed to take care of perils of the sea. That is anything involved on the sea. We have ship on the sea, we have cargo on the sea. So it's a type of insurance that takes care of the goods right from the warehouse right down to our warehouse here in Ghana. So on the ship, everywhere on the ship, this cover takes care of entirely everything that takes care on the sea. So anything that should happen, assuming there's sinking, there's damage to the cargo, this insurance cover takes care of all those things on the sea.
And this is an area you cover at Serene Insurance?
Yes, this is one of our major products that we cover at Serene Insurance Company.
How deep are you involved in this particular category of insurance, marine insurance?
The marine market here is not too, the insurance here is not that too broad, as we say, because most of the covers are taken outside. So in Ghana, when you even look at the books of most insurance companies, you see that the marine cover is very small. Because a lot of covers, they don't place it here. But this time, we want to come out and let people know that we also have the capacity to place these businesses here. So that is what we are doing now.
You talk about the fact that you want to perhaps educate and sensitize players in the industry, as it were, to be able to buy into the idea of insuring locally, right? Because this has been an issue. I know the issue of people advocating that instead of placing the insurance out there or covering out there, it should rather be done locally. Yeah. Yes, is this something that you buy into? And because you just intimated that you want to sensitize and educate the people to buy into it, how are you doing this?
Yeah, the sensitization is coming from education. Because right now we see that the NIC and then other people, they are coming together to bring out an act that will make it mandatory for people to insure their products in the country. They don't want people to do the foreign insurance because they believe that insuring it here, we keep the capacity, we keep the money in here, and then whatever happens, the local market will be expanded to be able to take care of these huge businesses that they are just sending the money out of the country.
Yeah. All right. So you mentioned the National Insurance Commission, and
yes.
I know that they have the Marine Insurance Act of 2006,
yes.
Which enjoins businesses to, as a matter of importance, undertake local insurance. And so this is something that you can tap into.
Yes.
And you have set out this product, that's marine insurance,
yes.
in your area of product that you
yes.
have.
Yeah.
And I'll come to you, Mr. Boachi. You are head of underwriting over there.
Yes, sir.
What is the level of patronage of this particular service or product?
I think the level of patronage has been very low over the years. And as my colleague rightly said, it's because of most of these businesses is being done from outside the country. Even though we have the act, specifically, if you permit me to read to you, the Insurance Act 2006 or Act 724,
yes.
the section 37(1), specifically the C, which says that goods other than personal effect being imported into the country needs to have a local insurance. Meanwhile, this has not been the case over the years. So the patronage, for that matter, has been very, very low on our market.
So, on average, in terms of numbers, if you have the figures, I mean, in a year, how many, packages are you able to sell in terms of marine insurance?
In terms of counts, I wouldn't count more than, let's say, more than 500 policies. Meanwhile, we have chunk of imports coming to our country
Absolutely.
Day in and day out. Yeah. We seems to be more of an import country, yet we don't have the insurances here.
Yeah.
The numbers are not here.
Madam Ajiri Tete,
yes, sir.
one thing that is crystal clear in the scheme of things, as far as marine insurance is concerned, is its capital-intensive nature. Yeah. And so people feel that maybe the local insurance companies do not have the capacity, they don't have the wherewithal to be able to cover their goods on the sea. Is that the situation with you? Do you have the capacity?
That is not the situation. Insurance, once you have a reinsurance coverage, because most of the insurances that we take, we also reinsure them. So no matter the capacity that they bring, when we take it, we reinsure. And it's insured both locally and then foreign. There are countries here, assuming there's a big business that we get, we can decide to spread it locally. Enterprise could see some, other companies could take some. And then when we don't exhaust, then we take it outside of the country. So when there's a claim, a lot of people come in, we contribute, and then we pay these claims. So when they say that we don't have the capacity, I don't know where they are coming from, because once there's reinsurance backing, whatever business that you have, you'll be able to underwrite it.
So what it means is that once you have a job, like you rightly said, if it's so huge, you can rope in other local insurance companies, cede some percentages to them, and you all be able to handle it effectively.
That is it.
Okay. Yeah. Is there anything you want to add to that?
No.
The capacity bit?
The capacity, apart from that, yes, we have the capacity, as I said. So I think there's no problem. They should be worried that the companies are small, so they cannot take it. They shouldn't look at the size, but we'll be able to reinsure, and then when there's a claim, we'll be able to settle them.
Why is it important, first of all, to insure my goods, at sea?
Yeah. You're asking why it's important to insure your... As you rightly said, these are capital-intensive projects. Yeah. Assuming somebody is sending in a 40-feet container of pharmaceutical products from outside the country, and it's coming to Ghana, look at the amount of money, and we are talking about billions of cedis. And then you just leave it that you're hoping that they arrive in Ghana safely. It is not the way. You have to protect the goods on the sea, because anything could happen. Yeah. There could be sinking, there could be damage to the drugs, anything could happen. So if you have an insurance cover in place, you are safe. When you sit back and you even hear, oh, there's a shipwreck or something, oh, I have an insurance, at least it gives you peace of mind. And then when you are there, you know that, oh, no matter what happens, your money is still there, because you invest a lot of money. Some people even go to the banks and take loans. So imagine something happens, what do you do? How are you going to pay the loan? So insurance is there to take care of all these things. So it's very important to have an insurance cover when it comes to these products.
Mr. Boaje, you mentioned that in a year you're able to do like 500. Has there been an instance where you've come perhaps under pressure, that just because you want to perhaps pay claims?
Not at all. I think one good thing with insurance globally, my colleague was just talking about the capacity bit. I want to touch on it with this question. One thing with insurance is that the risk doesn't stay with one person. The risk is spread globally. So as an insurance company, you decide on your retention based on certain factors. So if that is your appetite to the risks, after that, you just see the rating away. It goes to other reinsurers. It could be locally, it could be abroad. So no one claim can really have any damaging effect on one insurance company if the right things are being done from the onset. So for us, we've never come into challenge with any sort of paying any claim.
Now, can you give us the ranges of your marine insurance cover?
Sorry, please.
The range, like.
Okay. Of the marine insurance cover.
Yes.
Basically, we have two main types. We have the marine cargo, and then we have the marine hull.
Marine cargo and marine hull.
And the marine hull. Okay. Yeah. Just permit me to liken it to one insurance product that is well known in our society, which is motor insurance. So we are talking about a motor insurance that you can have insurance for your motor when you suffer any damages on your motor, or when you assume any liability as a result of your fault to a third party. The same thing with marine insurance, where we consider the vessel or the ship, for that matter, being the motor. Right. So that we call it the marine hull. Okay. So when you insure that hull or that vessel against damages to the vessel or other liability that you assume from your fault, right. That is the marine hull. And then we have the marine cargo, which protects the goods itself. Yeah.
All right, so it means you protect the goods in the vessel and you protect the vessel itself.
The vessel itself.
Those are the two insurance packages you have as far as marine is concerned.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Yes. All right. So let me you heard about the this Suez Canal issue, you know, where a big vessel blocked the Suez Canal, preventing passage to and fro of other vessels and all that. It has stayed there for a long time. And as we speak now, there's a brouhaha between owners of the vessel and the Suez Canal, you know, authorities, because they want some $916 million in damages and compensation and all that. Imagine that we perhaps had a deal, you know, with this huge vessel. I'm sure that would have been a big problem for you, Mrs. Madam, yes.
I think that wouldn't have been a problem at all. I'm saying that because, as I initially said, there's reinsurance. So once this big claim comes, all equally liable companies that we give the insurance to, we just go back to them, there's a claim. Come, contribute, and let's pay the claim. So it's not one company. If it's one company, it's just going to collapse. But once there are other people to support, there's no problem. So when it happens, I think we just go there and then everybody comes to contribute and then we solve the issue.
You're cool.
You are cool to go.
All right. That's fine. So let's take a look at the low patronage of it. That's what I'm worried about, because we have a lot of imports and exports going on in this country. Very voluminous, very huge. But it looks as if the local insurance industry has kind of like not been able to leverage on that. And that is my worry. You're a marketing person. Apart from the education and sensitization and all that, what do you think has gone wrong all these years? Because Ghana has operated our ports for a very long time, I mean, way back. And this should have been one of the thriving policies as far as the insurance industry is concerned. But that's not the case. What have you done any diagnosis to identify what the challenges are?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest challenges is reinforcement. Because there are lots of laws in Ghana, but enforcing them becomes a problem. So these acts that is coming up, when it's enforced, and then now NIC is doing very well when it comes to reinforcement. So when the law is brought, you have to do your insurance locally, and then there's a penalty to it. I'm sure most people will start doing it here. And then you cannot do it outside because the law is saying this is what you have to do. And they have to enforce the law, because that is the problem we have now. If we don't enforce, we will just put it in our books and it will stay there and people will do whatever they want. But once it's being enforced and people are being punished for not doing it, everybody will comply.
Right. Mr. Boachi, the NIC has come up with this cargo marine insurance protocol. I don't know whether you've heard about it.
Yes.
And what is it about?
Okay, so the protocol has been established to deal with this issue we're discussing right now. That's the low patronage of the product. So what the protocol seems to do is to have a coordination where we have the NIC, we have the Shippers Authority on board, we have the Ghana Revenue Authority, and then other stakeholders. Okay, but the three main stakeholders are the ones that I've mentioned right now. Because you realize that with the marine business, we are talking about the Custom Division.
Yeah,
they are
Ghana Revenue Authority,
yes,
GRA, yeah.
They monitor, I mean, the imports when they come in, there are the people there to check whether all the documents are intact or not. And then we have the Shippers Authority too. They seems to check the interests of their members. That's the shippers. So this protocol is to bring these three people together with the NIC, that is the regulator, to ensure the enforcement of all insurance laws, to make sure that we have a system that coordinates these activities and make sure people do the insurances here.
Yeah.
I think the good thing is that for a very long time now, we are all coming to the table to realize that this is something we have to do because it will benefit the nation in the long run.
Have you engaged the NIC to perhaps fashion out ways that you can come in to have a smooth, implementation of this new policy that they are rolling?
For now, no. They are now coming out with the modalities. So when they are out, and we would also, but for now, they still fine-tuning what they want to do. So it's not out yet. But I'm sure very soon the act will be out, and then we would have to find a way of then coordinating with them.
All right. So somebody sent in a question, and the fellow says, the Guta president has advised insurance companies to draft flexible policies that would attract importers to buy local insurance. Now, according to him, many importers shy away from buying local insurance for their goods due to the complex wording and little or no incentives attached to the policies. What do you say?
I think my colleague.
Yes, Mr. Underwriter.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think it's a worry most people have expressed over the years that insurers putting difficult wordings, you can't even understand it.
Sometimes it looks
the
so
language
technical.
and all that.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
But one thing we shouldn't look sight of the fact is that insurance is a bit of law. So in as much as you want to reduce the wording or the language, if you're not careful, you will then get away with all the issues that has to do with contract. But then, I think most insurance companies now, and for that matter, Serene, what we have done is to simplify the policy document or the contract to its simplest form, easy to understand, easy to read. If you have any issues, we are always there to, educate you on it and then deal with the issues with you. So the thing of complex and bulky contract document or insurance policy document is a thing of the past.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so, Madam, you are in charge of marketing. They talk about incentives, the Guta president. Guta wields a lot of clout as far as trade is concerned in this country. And, if you're able to incentivize them, I mean, I'm sure you'd be in good business. Yeah. The man talks about incentivizing them, incentives. What can you do to attract them?
I think we have a very competitive rate when it comes to these businesses. Depends on how you are sending or how you are sending out there. Once you let us know, we have a tailor-made policy, things that will suit you. And then we are open to negotiations because our rates are flexible, competitive. So when you come on board and you let us know that this is what you want to do, we would advise and tell you that this is what you do to also benefit you. So it depends on the individual and the type of things that is being sent in. So if you let us know what you want to do, we would also find a way of meeting you at the point of your need. So we don't have a one-cut policy fitting everybody. It's tailor-made. Depends on what you want, and they will also try and then fit in and get it for you.
All right, so there seems to be some lack of confidence by the trading public, the business community, in the local insurance industry. What are some of the things you can do to, remove this fear, this lack of confidence, and to get them to, believe that, yes, you are able, you have the capacity, you can deliver?
I'm sure most of these fears are just, a few of them just don't, they've heard others saying there's fear, but they've not tried and tested. But I think they should also try. As Serene, when you come, even when there's a claim, we will take you through the rudiment. This is what you have to do till the final payment when you receive your check. Some insurance companies, when you call, they will not even mind you. It will just be there. So such a person will say, oh, even when there's a claim, they will not even mind me. But you should know that once there's a claim, the person is frustrated. He doesn't know what to do. So it's up to you to bring the person to your level, empathize with the person, and then let the person know that we are there to help you. You did this policy at this time, and then the essence of having an insurance policy is paying of claims. So once the person has a claim and you're able to guide the person to the level that he receives his payment, that confidence will be coming back. So I think it's about the way we go about it. But now things have changed. As Serene, I don't think we do things that way. Things are changing, so they should have the confidence that when they come in, they'll be able to assess all that they want to assess.
Mr. Boache, tell us, we rightly said here on this table that marine insurance is a capital-intensive one. And so if you don't have the money, you're not going to be able to do it. And you made mention of the fact that you do close to 500 or sometimes 500 a year. Tell us, what are some of the categories of goods? I know you talk about cargo, you talk about the haul, but can you give us figures? Do you insure by container? I mean, like if I'm an individual, I'm bringing in my goods. Do I bring you the specifics and tell you that, look, I'm bringing this amount of goods from this country, this number of containers, and I want them insured? Is that how it is done?
Okay, so with marine insurance, basically what we look out for is the invoice and then the bill of lading. In fact, the invoice will spell out the total value of goods you are bringing in, or your supplier is giving you. Now, the bill of lading comes from the ship owners. They will also attest on the bill of lading, I mean, the quantity of goods that you are keeping on their ship. So for us, what interests us is that what is the total value of goods that you are bringing that you need insurance for? That is a risk we will look at and then assess it, evaluate it, and then give you a premium that reflects that risk that you are bringing into the marine pool. And then we provide you the insurance.
Now, do you deal directly with the shipping line or you deal with the individual importer or exporter?
I think that's a very good question, and I see it to be a bit of a challenge. Not even the ship owners, I mean the
shipping line.
Not even
the individual importer.
Not even the individual importer themselves. Most of the time, you see agents wanting to do these things. So it's like
the agents are doing on behalf of the importers and exporters.
Exactly. Okay. So it's like we have the importers themselves who really don't know what is happening to their insurances and all that. And I think it's about time that they take much interest in their insurance. They need to be educated to know the benefit that there is for them, especially with the Act.
Right. All right. So let's take a look at the issue still, Madam.
Yes.
Of how you deal with these people. I mean, that's one thing I was very curious about, whether you deal directly, like I asked him, the shipping lines, or you deal with the individual importers and exporters, and he has just explained what the situation is. Now, how do you get through to these people to drum home the need for them to patronize your services?
Yeah.
As Serene Insurance.
Yeah. As he rightly said, education. And most of the education could be on radio, on TV, with the NIC. And we could also go to the port, have these activities. We could go there. Yeah.
Well, one thing I wanted to ask to find out was whether you had any interaction, you had any relationship, any engagements with some of these freight forwarder firms, maybe importers and exporters. We have the freight forwarder organizations. We have the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders. We have the Association of Customs House Agents. Ghana. We have QBAG, that's Custom Brokers Association. I mean, I think that these are people that you can marshal. You can what do we call it? You can gather. You can attract if you go to engage their leadership. Yeah. But I mean, they can organize them. You can always educate them. You can always dialogue with them and see where they can come in and where they can help you.
That is what we are trying to do now. Now that the NIC is coming out with these things, that is the next strategies that we have. Also, we've put a lot of strategies in place to also make use of this act that is coming up. So when the act is in, we have strategies in place, and these are some of the things that you mentioned that we also want to do. Yeah. Because we have to meet the people at their needs. We have to go to their doorstep. Because insurance is very difficult. Yeah. You need to get to the people, and then you go and sell to them. Most of them will normally not walk to your office, but when you go to them, they will tell you their needs, what they want to cover, and then you will tailor and make a policy to cover those things. So that is the strategies that we are putting in place.
All right. So you are tuned into Metropolitan Television here at Ridge in Accra, and tonight on our import we are discussing the impact of the marine insurance on the import and export trade in Ghana. How prepared our local insurance industry is to leverage on the huge imports that are coming into the country and the huge exports that are also leaving the shores of the country. And we have officials from Serene Insurance. They are one of the local insurance companies who are doing absolutely well. Discussing the issues with Mr. Kingsley Akwaku-Boache. He is the head of underwriting at Serene Insurance, and then Madame Eugenia Ajri Tete, who is also head of marketing at Serene Insurance. And these are the issues we're discussing tonight. Indeed, you can continue to send up your messages. Remember the WhatsApp line is 0559-019-177. 0559-019-177. Remember, at some point, we'll activate our phone lines for you to get interactive with us, for you to call in and ask my guests questions that perhaps may be bothering your minds. So let me come to you, Mr. Boache. You mentioned, two of the key packages that you deal with as far as marine insurance is concerned. That's the cargo insurance and the hull insurance. What are other customized services? Are they the only two you deal with? You have other customized packages as far as marine is concerned?
Okay, so when we deal with cargo products, we have what we call the warehouse to warehouse. So unlike most of the foreign covers, that will just cover the goods up to the port. For our product, it will start the coverage from the warehouse of the supplier to the port of Tema, and then Tema or TAKORADI, our port, and it will leave from that port to the cargo owner's warehouse. So as soon as it gets to your warehouse, then the policy expires.
Right. Okay. So yours is to take delivery of the cargo, the insurance of the fellow's cargo. From what point? From the time the fellow clears the goods from the port? From
the supplier's warehouse.
Okay.
To
when you say the supplier's guest warehouse, you mean the country of origin?
Exactly.
Is that what you refer to? Abroad?
Yes, abroad,
okay.
Yes. From that place to Tema port. And then from Tema port to the cargo owner's warehouse in Ghana. So let's assume the cargo owner...
That looks like end-to-end.
Yes, end-to-end. Exactly, end-to-end.
Right.
End-to-end. Because at the end of the day, we believe the interest here is to protect the goods. So if the goods has not gotten to the final warehouse, then we must still ensure that we protect the goods for our insured.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So we want to find out from you. I know apart from marine insurance, there are some other special insurance packages that you offer at Serene Insurance, and you are head of marketing. Would you bring us up to speed with these products that you have?
Yeah. We have motor insurance, and that is the commonest one that we all know. And we say it's common because it's mandatory, so everybody does motor. And we also have fire and its allied perils. And then we have accident policies. We have bonds, engineering policies. So there are lots of policies that Serene Insurance has. We have travel and all the general insurance policies that we have.
You mentioned motor, which is most popular. That's when I buy my car.
Definitely. Once you decide to put it on the Ghanaian road, you should have an insurance for it.
Fortunately for me, I think my insurance is Serene. So you see the sticker on my car. And you also talked about, apart from the motor insurance, fire.
Yes.
And then you have passenger or travel. You said tourism.
Yes, travel insurance. Then we have the accident.
Okay.
And then the engineering ones for the constructions and all those things.
Wow.
It's also there.
All right, we'll come for the details of that. But let me come to you and take a look at what goes into the consideration of your premiums. If I'm coming to insure with you, what are some of the things you consider before you issue you give me the premium?
Okay, so
before you arrive
exactly
at the premium, yes.
Exactly, because no two risks technically are the same. So what we really consider is the type of goods you are bringing in. In fact, sometimes we even consider the country of origin, where you are bringing the goods from. We consider the kind of ship you are going to use, or the kind of vessel you are going to use, the classification on the vessel.
Whether it is rickety or it is good.
Exactly. So all these are factors that we consider. And then we also consider some of the extensions that you will willingly request, like war extension, war covers. And then, yes, basically that. And then we rate it. But we make sure that we rate it according to the regulatory rate provided by the regulator. And then we price the premium accordingly.
Okay. Have you had instances where people would kind of like negotiate with you, tell you your premium is high, won't you bring it down and all that?
Exactly, a lot most of the time. But you see, insurance here is a shared responsibility. Now, if you think the premium is high and you think your risk is so low or your risk is safe, then what we normally do is that, we also up your excesses. Because at the end of the day, when there's a claim, you have a portion of the risk that you have to bear. So then we have to increase your excess, and then we can cut down the premium for you. That notwithstanding, we won't cut down the premium below the regulated rate. We don't do that.
Right. Madam, I know one thing that most insurance companies grapple with is in terms of motor insurance, has to do with how to convince people to go for comprehensive. Yeah. I know most people want to do third party and all that. How are you trying to, break this particular, as it were, situation to ensure that, people actually do the comprehensive insurance so that they are able to get value for money in terms of any accident or in terms of any damage?
Okay. Comprehensive, I always tell people that comprehensive insurance is for the poor man. Because I don't see the reason why you should get a vehicle worth 100,000 plus, and then you come and do third party. Because when there's a claim, what do? Assuming it's a total loss, you're going to cough out that 100,000 at that moment, and then you don't have the money. So for the poor people, I tell you, you don't know when the accident will happen. But I think you should have a comprehensive insurance so that when there's an accident, at least you can recoup the money. The money investments you put in there, you can get it back. So when you try to bring it to their level, that this is how it is, do the comprehensive. Third party just cover the other person and not you. But most people will say, oh, no, I don't have money. But you had money to go and buy 100,000 worth of a car. So you should be able to pay the comprehensive. And it's not that much. And now we can negotiate. You don't have much. Okay, you don't have much. How much do you have? This is how much. Okay, you can do for 3 months. When it's expired, you come again, you do for the next. So we have a way of doing it so that once you don't have money, because you can't get the bulk money to pay for the comprehensive. But once you decide to spread it out for the person, the NIC can give you a policy for a week. They have a calculation, we'll do it, you can pay for a week. So your pocket will tell you how much. But I think the best one is to do the comprehensive. So it's still education. Let people know that this is an investment you've made. Your car is an investment. It gets spoiled today, you can't get a car for that, and that's the only means of transport for you. So get an insurance. No matter what happens, the insurance company will be in there to help you when there's a claim. So
now, somebody will say, I mean, I am a very careful driver. I'm a defensive driver. I mean, there's no way I would get involved in an accident. And so it's kind of my insurance company cry. I mean, I'm just dashing it to them. Why should I do that when I can do other things with it? And like you said, to buy a car of 100,000 Ghana cedis and then just go and do a third party, sometimes it doesn't make sense. But why do you think that? I mean, the fellow who believes that he's good at driving and would not, be involved in an accident or not damage his car should come and pay to you premium.
I'm just laughing because I remember when I went to the driving school, they told me that behave as if you are the only sensible person on the road. You could be as careful as you want to be, but you don't know the other driver. Sometimes you'll be driving, doing all the things that you have to do. Somebody could just run into your car. Anything could happen. So it doesn't matter how careful you are. Accidents are not planned. People leave their homes. I'm going to work. They never come back. They never planned for it. So plan as if something will happen, but you don't know. So when you tell yourself, oh, I'm a careful driver, and as for Ghanaians, oh, God is there to protect us, so there will not be any accident. We all believe in God. But God says he's giving us the brains to know that these are things that are, because you could be very careful, but others are not careful on the road. And we see them every time. So just protect yourself so that when the unforeseen happens, at least your money is not wasted. You could get a compensation or you could be indemnified.
Kingsley, I can bet that, like Madam rightly said, the volumes of underwritings that you've done, the third party is the most.
Exactly.
Can you give us any figures?
In terms of the count of premium?
Yes.
In terms of the count, let me give in terms of count. In terms of count, as at the year end 2020, I think we have done in excess of 30,000 count.
30,000 for
30,000 count for motor third parties.
Third parties,
yes.
Okay.
But what I have realized is that over the years, because of the intensive education we give to our insured or our clients for that matter, we've been able to upgrade most of them into now converting their third parties into comprehensive insurances. I think the issue we have is education. Education and education. We need to educate the public for them to understand, insurance. Most people think I need just motor third party because the police will stop me.
Right.
It is not about the police, but it's about the innocent third party you may cause harm to. If you are paying for an innocent third party, how about your own investment? So just upgrade and do the right thing. Just take the widest coverage so that as you save the innocent third party, you also save your investment also.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So I am told we have Mr. Joseph Agbaga on the line. He is a former president of the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders He would want to share with us what his thoughts are on this particular subject and whether he agrees with the assertions by the Guta president, who earlier intimated that sometimes there's a little bit of complexity and, a hard wording in terms of, and also incentives. So let's run from Mr. Agwaga. Good evening, Mr. President.
Good evening.
And thank you very much for joining us here on Iron Port. Tonight we're discussing insurance, marine insurance for that matter. And you are a freight forwarder. You've risen through the ranks. You once was the president of the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, and so you've seen it all. What's your impression initially of our marine insurance industry in Ghana?
Thank you for giving this opportunity to contribute to that discussion. Insurance in Ghana, what most people know is about it. The general insurance and the motor vehicle insurance. That is what people actually knows more about. But when it comes to marine insurance, only few people who have the knowledge to do marine insurance, especially when it comes to importation of goods. I believe that there is a section in the National Insurance Law, Section 37 or so, A, which talks about the importation of goods into the country. But this, the insurance company themselves have not emphasized on it. So it is almost in silent view. So now that insurance issue is being brought to the fore, then I will encourage the insurance company in Ghana to try to educate the public about what marine insurance is and what benefits is it to them.
Right.
One time, looking at that same law, which is prohibiting importers of goods not to do insurance offshore, that also needs to be looked at. So there becomes a conflict of interest somewhere, or conflict of law when it comes to international trading across borders. The reason why I'm saying that there's a conflict here is who has the insurable interest when that importer who is receiving goods on deferred payment. You will notice that the supplier of the goods or the seller has given you the goods, but you haven't paid it. So therefore, he also or she also has that insurable interest. This is what we must all look at and see how we can get to a win-win situation.
Okay, so you agree with calls for traders, importers, exporters in the country to insure their goods locally, right?
Yes.
Okay, so your colleague, the president of Guta, raised certain concerns as far as the marine insurance is concerned, and he thinks that the insurance companies are not doing enough to incentivize you, the traders, and importers and exporters. And he mentions specifically some issues which has to do with the flexible policies to attract the local insurance people, and also importers shy away from buying local insurance for their goods due to complex wording and little or no incentives attached to the policies. You think that the local insurance companies must sit up and perhaps review their wording in terms of the contracts that they have. One of the guests I have in the studio here is telling me that insurance partly has to do with law. And so, sometimes, but what do you think?
Yes. The insurance is law. It's purely law. So when someone is saying that is state law, I agree with that person. That is the reason why I even threw this message that who has the insurable interest? Having insurable interest is about who has the when goods are lost, who is at loss? Because one, the importer here, when it does not when he has not paid for the goods yet, and there is a loss, it becomes between him and the supplier. So the supplier is the one who is at loss because he has not even received his money. And in that vein, I threw the question that who has the insurable interest if the goods have not yet been paid, even though the goods is with the importing country. So basically, insurance is law. So
all right.
Both the trading public and insurance company need to sit over the table, and the insurance they have to educate the trading public very well as to what they have to do for the insurance for to be comfortable to run to them for cover.
Right. Thank you very much indeed for sharing your thoughts with us this evening on Iron Port, Mr. Joseph Agbaga. He is a former president of the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, and you heard him. He's raised certain issues. Would you like to tackle one or two of them before we move on? He talks about issues of conflict of interest and all that, and who has insurable rights and all those things. So,
I think with the issue of insurable interest, it will always be established when there's a claim. In fact, for marine businesses, the loss need not exist at the inception of the policy.
Right.
I mean, the interest need not exist at the inception of the policy. It is when the loss has occurred that we establish the interest here. So, yes, it is an issue, but I don't think that in itself should be the reason why we shouldn't have the local insurance industry partaking in this booming business.
Okay. All right, so this one says, good evening to you all. I am Isaac Esulfi, watching you live from Tema Community 3. And my question is, how do I get my cargo, that's goods, insured when it's a part container, that is 2 or 3 consignees having their goods in one container? I hope you understand that.
Yes.
And then he continues. Another question is, if I have already done an FOB, that's free on board shipment, and later decided to change the CIF, that's cost, insurance, and freight, how best can you help? If someone does insurance and the motor got, okay, this one is a different one, but let's tackle the first ones before we come to Isaac Esulfi. Yes, he says, how do you deal with him if he wants to insure his goods? If he's bringing in goods and it's in one container, but with like 2 or 3 consignees.
Exactly.
Yes. How are you able to insure that for him?
Exactly. Like I said, for we the insurance underwriters, our main interest is the details of the goods. So it doesn't really matter whether you're sharing the container with somebody. What portion of your goods do you have in the container? Okay. It is the goods that we are interested in. Okay. And like I said, you have these details spelled out on the supplier's invoice and then on the bill of lading. So the bill of lading will actually also support the issues on the invoice. And then that is it. We will just insure your portion of the risk.
Right. Okay. So the second bit says, another question is, if I've already done an FOB, that's free on board shipment, and later decided to change it to cost, freight and insurance, cost, insurance, and freight at CIF, how best can you help? He's migrating from FOB to CIF. Is there anything you do about it?
I think I will take the question and then.
All right.
Get
The question is,
and then.
if I have already done an FOB shipment and later decided to change it to CIF, how best can you help?
Even with the issue with the CIF,
Yeah.
the CIF where we have the custom division people, you know, having a flat rate for the insurance,
Yeah.
we are contesting that. And we are calling that it should be abolished.
Okay.
So I think there's little that as insurers we can do.
Okay.
Yes. We cannot help in this case.
All right.
We want him to come and take the insurance from us and not with the custom division.
All right. Okay, Madam, I'll come to you. There's a question that you need to answer, but let me go on to the phone lines again because we have the president of GUTA on the line. I think that he will speak to the issues he raised earlier. Good evening, Doc.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us tonight. I know some time ago you raised issues about, insurance companies not doing enough to incentivize you, the traders, to trade with them. Tonight we are dealing with Marine Insurance in the studios, and we have guests from Serene Insurance whom we are discussing the issues with. Can you bring us up to speed with your concerns as far as Marine Insurance is concerned, and what do you think that the insurance companies should be doing to ensure that you, the traders, patronize them?
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Yeah, marine insurance is very important for the importers in that our properties are at stake at the sea. And so it's very important that we all think about insurance, making insurance for our products. But here too, we have the offshore insurance companies we have been dealing with all this time without any problems. The local insurance companies have not accepted themselves to this tax. Even they are thinking about the offshore insurance where they don't even have the capacity to insure most of our waste. And they are not also even looking from within, where after our goods have docked here, we transport them to Kumasi, TAKORADI, Sunyani, elsewhere. They don't even think from that angle to start with their insurance where it will trickle into the offshore. And now they are lobbying to have wholesale insurance from importers. That is not to be. So they have to build the capacity in. Some of them have tried coming to us, but their services have never been attractive to us. Their premium is very excessively high and all that. So we have to sit down with them. Once they are local insurance companies, we also have to encourage them. But we have to sit down so that we know our needs and tailor-made their insurance for us. This is what we expect from them.
Okay, so you made mention of the fact that they don't have capacity. Now they tell me in the studio that they have capacity to do that. You are those that are doubting them. Two, you make mention of the fact that you want them to perhaps transport or cover the transportation of your goods, perhaps from the ports to other regions. Is that right?
That's what they should have even started, so that it will have taken a lot of us in the first place. They haven't done that, and they are lobbying for offshore. It doesn't make sense. We are here, we transport our goods to Tamale, to the inland places and all that, and where your ability should have started, and then it will trickle to the offshore. Because the offshore is so easy, the customs will just collect the money and give to them. It's a lazy way of doing it. It's a service. What they do is a service, and they make their service attractive to us. It's not anything that anybody is going to impose for us. So the onus lies on them to make their services very attractive. Some of us, with all the insurance that they've tried in the past to do regarding marine insurance, they've been able to secure about 6%. Why is this so? Because it's not attractive. And then also, we do not do our business in isolation. We do this business with our suppliers, who also have equal stake in the goods that they transport to us, because most of them are on credit. And so probably we have to sit down with them. It's very important to nurture our local insurance companies. It will go a long way to help the Ghanaian economy. But then we should have a way that everybody will be attractive to it.
All right, Doc. So even before they agree to sit down with you to fashion out some of these issues and see whether you can resolve them and have the way forward, what are some of the recommendations you will make? Because you just do not seem to have any faith in them at all.
Oh, it's not that. But I've mentioned premium. Because the value for money is very important. You cannot just say that because I do not have capacity. Well, most of them, we have approached them. But some of the things that we approach them with, they say they don't have the capacity to do. Ask them. They don't have the capacity to do all insurance for most of the products. And that's why they shouldn't make everything seem to look that we are avoiding them and then depending on the offshore.
Doc, on that tangent, not to cut you, Doc,
it's only that they simply lack the capacity. Their premiums are very high, and they haven't even started well because they should have carried on the insurance from the Tema port to our warehouses. They seem to be interested in that, and we are surprised. And that's what is within Ghana. If you do that, if you start doing that, then it will trickle to the onshore. But then they are doing the lazy way where they will say they'll do insurance with the Ghanaian insurance company when your goods arrive and the monies are paid to them. It's not fair. It's a service. We should be attracted to a service, not impositional.
Now, Doc, with the issue of capacity, I think that's one of the issues we discussed here in the studio tonight. And they say they have the capacity in the sense that when the job comes and it's quite voluminous, they rope in other insurance companies, local ones, because they are local. And so they are able to seed it out in percentage terms so that they are able to handle the job. Is that not something that we should, thank them for?
You are saying that they have the capacity.
Yes.
I was thinking that by now, they should have even partnered with some of the offshore companies that we normally deal with. That's how some of these things work. But you can't just wake up one day and say that you have the capacity, and it's a way, by way of mouth. And so they have to deliver. They have to do something. They say the sweetness of the pudding is in the eating. It's not by way of sitting in the studio and say that you have the capacity. No. And so they have to actually work for it. They have to reach out to the importers, sell their products to them, let them know how, why they have the capacity to handle their goods and all that. And people will necessarily work with them. But it shouldn't be anything that it looks like imposition. That I will never go with it.
Okay, so you talk about incentives as well. And what are you looking at? You are looking at the reduction in their premiums and liaising with your counterparts. You mentioned offshore insurers and all that. Is that what you are looking at to endear them to you?
Yeah, for them, it is even good for them. When you are developing the capacity, you do so with the bigger players. And then, so if you have, hello?
Yes, Doc,
so if you have the offshore players who have been with us all this time, then partnering with them in dealing and all that would have been a good idea, even for them. But for us, we are looking at a service, and we want where our lot will be battered the most. And so it's not that it's a Ghanaian insurance company, and so you go and risk insuring with it. That's now how services are. You look at where your bread will be battered.
All right. Thank you very much indeed, Doc. That's all the time will allow us tonight. We're grateful to you for your time. You heard us speak to Dr. Joseph Obing. He's the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, and he's raised some concerns. Madam, I think, would you like to, respond to just a few of the issues he's raised? Still, I think that he's an unrepentant believer in the fact that you guys do not have the capacity at all. He says your products are not attractive. You should begin to liaise with your offshore counterparts, and then you should also perhaps do something about your premiums and all that. That would kind of like, endear them to you. He also wants you to police, insure the goods right from the port through to the warehouse. I know you mentioned something like that in the course of the discussion, but he thinks that outside of Accra, you should be able to still do that. And so, what do you think?
So if I understand what he wanted to police the goods from the port to their final destination. Is that what he's asking?
Say again?
That we should take care of the goods from the port to the final destination.
Exactly.
I think
yes.
I have mentioned that
mentioned
one.
That, yes.
That we have a customized product, which is warehouse to warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever the thing is coming from your suppliers,
Yeah.
up to when it gets to you, the cargo owner, your warehouse.
Yeah.
In fact, even with our product, we have extended it. It is not part of the marine product, although. But what we do is that as soon as as soon as your goods are discharged to you in your warehouse, immediately we advise you to take a fire policy on the goods to still protect the goods.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the interest is we want to safeguard the goods. So it is not even just from the port to, let's say, his warehouse in Tamale. But then after even we get to Tamale, cover is still up to Tamale. After we get to Tamale, where the marine policy stops, and then the fire policy will also kickstart. And with the issue of premium, you see, insurance has to do with numbers. And I believe if we have this law enforced, and then we have the numbers trickling in, the regulator will definitely look at the premium rates that he has given to the industry again.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, we did a pool. We need to create a pool. But if all of you are not coming on board, how do we deal with the premium issue here?
Yeah.
And then with the issue with capacity, we have explained that insurance is a global thing. We don't sit here and then write businesses that we can't chew. So you bite what you can chew. We have reinsurance arrangements. We have very solid treaty programs that we use to share the excesses of the risks that we cannot contain. And under no circumstances should a claim happen that you will say that your claim will not be paid because there will be reinsurance to protect those excesses.
Okay. All right. So, Madam, there's a question here. It says, since the trading public do not have much faith in local insurers for having the capacity to take care of their millions of cargoes, some have argued local insurance companies should look at the Ghana ports for the warehouse bid. For example, the Tema, from Tema to Makola, which is good for starters. What do you say? I'm not clear with the question, but I don't know whether you get the import.
Yeah, I'm sure he wants to talk about what my colleague has spoken
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
Because once he gets to Tema, most of them think when he arrives at Tema, that is all. But that is not it. Because it goes to the final destination.
Yep.
So assuming your warehouse is in Kumasi and the goods are in Tema, when he gets to Kumasi and they are in your warehouse, that is when the policy sees it. So I don't see where that person is coming from.
Okay. All right. Right. So you can give us a call. This juncture, I would want to activate the phone lines, and the number to call is 020-552-8353. 020-552-8353. You can give us a call, and my guests will be glad to answer whatever questions you have for them tonight here on iImport on Metropolitan Television. We're discussing marine insurance and the impact of that particular insurance to the import and export trade in Ghana. And so let us hear your thoughts. You've sent us a series of messages. We are glad we can deal with them. But you can also call us via the number I just mentioned, 020-552-8353. We'll be glad to pick your questions and answer them. So let me come to you, Madam, and find out what your payment plan is like in terms of how quickly, timely, you're able to pay claims.
Okay. When it comes to a claims payment, it is a policy of the board that once the last document is received, no outstanding claim should be in our books for more than 7 days. So once the last document is received, we make sure within 7 days your payment is made to you.
Within 7 days?
Once the last document is received.
Right.
Because sometimes when we say this, people think that...
When you say document, can you run us through what the process is like? If I'm insuring with you...
Depends on the type of claim.
Yeah.
Let's assume it's a motor claim, and then it's a comprehensive motor insurance, and there's an accident, and then a third party is involved. If a third party is involved, we will need a police to come in and let us know who the actual cause is. So we will need a police report. And that is where most people don't like he thinks I have a comprehensive, so once there's a claim, you should go ahead and settle the claim for me. But once there's a third party involved, the police would have to come in, we'll know who caused it, and then we do it. So if the police report is not there, we are asking you, try and get it for us so that it goes through, then it becomes a problem. But once we receive the last document that this is all the things, once we give you the form, we'll run you through, these are the things you need. When you get them for us, within 7 days, you should have your claims paid.
Right. Okay, so I'll come to you, Mr. Boachi. Someone says if someone does insurance and the motor gets stolen, is there claims of insurance? I'll come to you with that. But let's go on to the phone lines. I understand we have one Abdul on the line. Good evening, Abdul.
Good evening. How are you?
Very well, thank you, sir.
Yeah, nice to see you this evening. I'll first of all see how you show TAKORADI Harbour. I was so impressed at the TAKORADI Harbour, the question of, I think the times you have to go to Professor Mills and John Dramani Mahama for, vision that they have for TAKORADI and the Tema for the exhibition work. So may God bless them, Professor Mills and John Dramani Mahama, wherever they are. And my problem is at the TAKORADI Harbour. You see, you have a comfort if you get your container. To clear the container, you have some people at the port who don't know where are they coming from, where are they working, whether they are the party soldiers. When you load your container, you are very like.
Okay, I think we've lost Abu. I don't know what exactly his issue is. If you can call back and then get us to understand what he really wants us to address, I think that would help us. Abu, you can try and get back to us and let us hear you clearly so that we'll be able to know what your issues are so that my guests can address them if they fall within their domain. But somebody's asking, if I acquire a motor and I come to insure it and the motor gets stolen, the vehicle gets stolen, am I entitled to some insurance?
Exactly. It will actually depend on the type of cover you purchased. So for motor insurance, we have basically 3 types of cover. So we have the motor third party. That just gives you protection against your liability to third parties in terms of injury and then death. And then we have motor third party fire and theft. And then we have comprehensive. That is the widest coverage. So assuming... Okay, so we'll come to the fire and the other one. But I think we have someone on the line. Hello, good evening. Hello. Hello, good evening. Well, I think the fellow's line is not clear. If we can raise it, if the fellow can call back again, I'm sure we'll be able to hear him or her. The fellow is on? Yes, okay. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Tell us your name and where you're calling from, please.
My name is Umar. I'm calling from Accra, Newtown.
Accra, Newtown. Please go ahead.
Okay. First of all, I want to say a big congratulations to IronPort for the enlightening and then educating the public.
Thank you.
I think it would be great if you can come out with a short courses for people to enjoy these kind of ideas and also come out as entrepreneurs in the country.
Right.
All right. My question is to the lady.
Yeah.
I want to find out, in the process of you taking your goods from the port up to the destination whereby it will be at wholesale, where you keep your wholesale. In case of anything that happens with the goods, is it the insurance coming from the airport authorities, or is going to come from from insurance outside by the client, the owner of the goods? This is what I want to know.
Umar, thank you very much indeed. Did you get the question, madam?
Yeah, I'm not too, but he said when the goods get to the warehouse and something happens. Yeah, that is why my colleague was saying that when the goods get to the warehouse and then the insurance cover ceases, we advise that have a fire policy to cover the things in there. And fire is the rates are very low.
Right.
So you get a cover to take care of the goods whilst they are in there. So that when anything happens, you still have an insurance to fall on.
Right. Okay, so Mr. Boachi, you were explaining the motor issue.
Yes.
Yeah, and you got to fire.
Yes.
That means when the car gets bent or something, is that right? When
Yes.
you talk about fire.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So with the question of the stolen motor, assuming that the person purchased a third-party policy, there will be no insurance cover.
Okay.
But assuming that the person took a motor fire and theft policy, yes, the person can claim under that. And with a comprehensive policy too, yes, the person can claim under that.
All right. I think we're not going to be able to pick any further calls because our time is running out. But there's this message that comes. Does marine insurance expire?
Yes.
It expires?
Yes.
You have timelines?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, what actually happens is that, it's the voyage. So at the end of the day, if the goods get to the port, you have a 60 days grace period for the goods to get to your warehouse. So if the goods within, say, 5 days gets to your warehouse, even though you had 60 days, immediately gets to your warehouse, it has expired.
All right. Thank you very much. I understand we have our final caller on the line. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Okay, my name is Seth, and I'm calling from Madina Asalabo. I think we should allow the local marine insurance companies to also have an opportunity to insure our port, and especially the ladies. She has done very well. She has really very well. Congrats.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for calling in. That's our final caller. Now, this one says it's good to hear Serena opening up to listening to traders concerned to fill the gap with local insurance. That's a good way to go. This one is from Ato in Tema. And then this one says, thanks. I think Serene has convinced me. I want to try them out with my next shipment. This one is from Bonsu in Tema. Thank you, Bonsu. So they say you guys are doing well. We're on the... Okay, Madam explained the issue of prompt claims payment and all that. Yes, so you finish with yours, and then I think we'll just wrap it up.
Yes, with the issue with the stolen motor.
Yes.
So as I said, it will depend on the type of insurance cover that the person purchased. If the person did purchase a motor third-party insurance, there will be no cover when the motor is stolen. But if the person purchased a motor fire and theft cover or a comprehensive cover, the person will be covered, and he can make a claim on the theft. Yes.
All right. Okay, so this one says, Ghanaians, instead of supporting our own insurance companies, we are rather throwing that into the eyes of the people. When are we going to grow as Ghanaians? God have mercy. From Nene, Otubwa, Serene Insurance, keep moving. Well, all right. So, Nene, we thank you so much indeed. Madam, you would want to give us your parting words. Maybe you would want to look into the camera and then tell the viewing public, those that are monitoring, why you think that you have the capacity and why they should patronize Serene Insurance.
Yeah. As